Good morning. You know I am 40 years old, married, and live in Bel Air, Maryland. You also know I am a police officer seeking to move up in rank and presently attending college. My name is James Ryan, and my first speech was going to be about myself, the places I have lived, and about my career as a law enforcement officer. However, it became an informative speech about the place I was born. I was born in Islip, New York, which is located on Long Island. Long Island is just that, a Long Island located east of New York City, stretching underneath Connecticut, almost reaching Rhode Island. It's famous for antiques, aquariums, zoos, farm stands, lighthouses, mansions, museums, historical sites, and the performing arts. People began migrating to Long Island from New York City during the post-war construction boom and have continued migrating further out on the island, making it a very congested place to live. Islip was established in 1720, and the first elections were held for the posts of supervisor, constable, collector, and 2 assessors. Some early settlers made their living raising grain and beef, but Islip's proximity to the water made fishing and shipping the principal way of life. Jacob Akers, whose Oakdale home on Montauk Highway is the only town-owned structure listed on the National Register of Historic Places, was known as the Oyster King. A Dutch immigrant, Akers, the Oyster King, parlayed his limited fishing experience into a world-renowned industry. By 1900, his Blue Point Oyster Company shipped as many as 100,000 barrels of oysters a year all over the world. In 1908, the New York State passed a law forbidding any oysters to be called Blue Points unless they came from the Great South Bay. The Great South Bay is a lagoon that's between Long Island and Fire Island, and Fire Island separates the lagoon from the Atlantic Ocean. Obviously, Islip is on that lagoon. The Great South Bay also attracted wealthy tourists from New York City who built mansions, lodges, and country clubs for their vacationing pleasure, several of which still stand today. Islip's oldest deeded home and the site of an overnight stay by George Washington is Sagittos Manor in West Bayshore. William Nicole had St. John's Episcopal Church in Oakdale built in 1765 so that early settlers and Native Americans who had become Christians had a place to worship. It is the oldest church in active use on the south shore of Long Island. By 1925, the federal government had erected the first Fire Island lighthouse. On a good summer weekend, the Surf Hotel attracted from 500 to 1,000 guests who arrived from New York and the mainland by boats and ferries. The hotel industry was important to Islip's economy throughout the 19th century and for a good part of the 20th century. In the early years, the town expanded slowly. The population was about 1,100 in 1820, about 1,600 in 1830, about 1,900 in 1840, and 2,600 in 1850. In 1844, the Long Island Railroad came to the town of Islip and the area flourished. There was a flurry of building after World War I, but nothing like the population explosion and land development following World War II. Islip's population exploded from 7,100 in 1950 to 278,000 in 1970. Today it has 300,000 residents. Over the course of Islip's heritage, it has changed from a farming economy in the early years to a bustling fishing and tourism area in the 19th and 20th centuries. To the bedroom community of the post-World War II years, to its status today as a leader where industry and community cohabitate, providing a great place for its more than 300,000 residents to live, work, and play.